These images were captured 5 days ago by 4 astronauts, 250,000 miles from Earth, aboard a spacecraft called Integrity.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
NASA's Artemis II mission. The first humans to see the moon up close in over half a century. They spent 10 days out there. At their farthest point, they were almost 250,000 miles from home, alone in the vastness of deep space. They flew behind the moon. For 40 minutes, every signal between them and Earth went silent. No radio, no contact. Just 4 people, alone, on the far side of a world which we hadn't visited. When they emerged, they watched a solar eclipse from behind the moon. The sun slipping behind the dark lunar edge, its corona glowing in a perfect ring of light. And on April 10th, their capsule splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. So does that mean humanity just went back to the moon? Well, not exactly. And to understand why that answer is complicated, we need to go back, way back, 53 years back, to a time when 12 men walked on lunar soil, when human beings left Earth, stepped onto something that was never ours, and stood there, alone, in the vastness of space. And then they stopped going. Between 1969 and 1972, 12 men walked on the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, 10 others after them. They drove a car on the surface. They planted flags and took photographs. Living beings, standing on a world 240,000 miles from home, surrounded by nothing but silence and the black of space. And then, in December 1972, Apollo 17 left the moon. For 53 years, nobody went back. So, was the moon landing even real? Did those 12 men actually walk up there? Or was the whole thing staged on a Hollywood soundstage? If it was real, then why did it take 53 years for anyone to return? Why did we stop? And if we stopped, why are 5 countries now racing to go back? What is NASA planning in the next 5 years? What is China building right now that could get their astronauts there before America returns? Is the next half-decade going to be the biggest leap for humanity since we first looked up at the sky? Are we actually about to build bases on the moon? And why does any of this matter to you on Earth watching this video? Let's tackle everything one by one. First, the conspiracy. The conspiracy claims have all been answered. The flag had a rod holding it out. The shadows look off because of uneven terrain and wide-angle lenses. The radiation exposure lasted minutes, not hours. And the cameras couldn't expose for both the bright lunar surface and faint starlight at the same time. Basic photography. But the real reason the conspiracy survived for 53 years wasn't bad science. It was silence. Half a century of nothing. If we really landed, why couldn't we do it again for 50 years? It's a fair question, but the silence just ended.
2, 1.
The mission that splashed down 5 days ago, Artemis II, was not a moon landing. That's important to understand. No one stepped onto the surface. This was a test flight. The first time NASA put humans inside the Orion spacecraft and sent them around the moon and back. They tested life support, practiced docking maneuvers, ran experiments on how human tissue responds to deep space radiation. They proved the hardware works, with living, breathing people inside it, in the aloneness of that vast, empty, unknown space. And the people inside it made history of their own. Christina Koch became the first woman to journey this deep into space. Jeremy Hansen became the first non-American to leave Earth orbit. Reed Wiseman, at 50, became the oldest person to fly beyond low Earth orbit. He's also a single father. His wife passed from cancer in 2020. Before launch, he took his 2 daughters for a walk and told them where to find his will. And then there was Victor Glover, the pilot, a Navy captain with 24 combat missions. Before launch, a reporter asked Glover a weird question: how he felt about being the first black astronaut to make this journey. It's the kind of question that reduces a man's entire life to a single label. But Glover didn't dodge it. His response was,
it is a big question, and I want to highlight, I guess maybe one facet of this is the tension, I call it. I live in this, this dichotomy between happiness that a young woman can look at Christina and just physicalize her passion or her interest, or even if it's not something she wants to do, she can just be like girl power, and that's awesome. And that young brown boys and girls can look at me and go, hey, he looks like me and he's doing what? And that's great. I love that. But I also hope we are pushing the other direction, that one day we don't have to talk about these first, that one day this is just, and I listen to this, that this is the human history. It's about human history. It's the story of humanity, not black history, not women's history, but that it becomes human history.
And there was one more passenger. A small stuffed toy named Rise, designed by an 8-year-old boy named Lucas Ye from California. The moon wearing the Earth as a baseball cap. I mean, come on. Chosen from 2,600 submissions from 50 countries. At the end of the mission, Wiseman was supposed to leave Rise behind in the capsule for later retrieval. He couldn't do it. He tucked it into his bag and brought it home. The part that makes it human, the crew is home safe. The spacecraft worked. Now what? And what's coming? Here's what's coming, and the speed of it might surprise you. 2027, Artemis II. Astronauts stay in Earth orbit and attempt something never done before. SpaceX's Starship, possibly Blue Origin's Blue Moon. They'll test the spacesuits, test the docking, test everything that has to work flawlessly before anyone steps onto the surface. 2028, Artemis IV. 2 astronauts descend to the moon's south pole, boots on the ground. The first human footprints since December 1972. 56 years between footprints. Late 2028, Artemis V, a second landing. After that, NASA is planning roughly 1 mission per year. The end game, a permanent lunar base by 2032. Not a visit. A place where people live and work and study the soil beneath their feet. None of this is guaranteed. Both landers are behind schedule. The proposed budget of the USA wants to cut NASA's funding by 23%. It could slip. Artemis II itself was delayed by over 3 years. But the direction seems locked this time. And America is not the only one moving. China. Later this year, Chang'e 7 launches to the lunar South Pole to search for water ice. water that can be split into hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is a rocket fuel, and oxygen is breathable air. Whoever finds it first and learns to use it controls the economics of every future lunar mission. China's target for a crewed landing is before 2030, and unlike NASA, which has shifted direction with nearly every new administration, China's lunar program grew from a single plan approved in 1992 and followed steadily, step by step, ever since. India. In 2023, India became the first nation in history to soft land at the moon's south pole. Chandrayaan-3. Total cost $75 million. Less than the production budget of Interstellar. Their crewed moon landing target is 2040, and they are building toward it mission by mission. Let that land for a second. We are actually going to space. Not in a movie, not in dreams, but actually. Nations are building rockets and landers and habitats right now, today, to put human beings on the moon and keep them there. This is not the space race of the 1960s. This is something different. A slow, deliberate march by multiple nations to build a permanent human presence on another world. So, was the moon landing real? 5 days ago, a single father flew a spacecraft around the far side of the moon and brought home a stuffed toy because he couldn't leave it behind. A pilot said he hopes that one day none of this is about firsts anymore. That's not conspiracy. That's not politics. That's what happens when you stop asking whether we went and start asking what's next. And here's the thing about what's next. For the first time in human history, the answer isn't coming from one country. It's coming from all of us. Different flags, different rockets, different reasons. But the same moon. The same curiosity that made someone look up thousands of years ago and wonder what it would feel like to stand there. And that we're about to find out.